If you are in need of some kitchen cleaning motivation, you are in the right place. Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jen, and I am your imperfect homemaker. If you want to hop on here today and you need some kitchen cleaning motivation, that is exactly what you will get. I figure while we're here together, I may as well tell you guys a quick little story about a lesson learned. I have a habit of wearing socks in the house, as most people do. And I have a habit of getting on the stepladder in socks. Well, guess what? The stepladder is slippery. So the other day, thinking to myself, I'm going to paint my nails. So I get out the stepladder, which is, 2 steps up, and I bring it into my office, and, so that I can get up on top of the big shelf that's in my office to get the basket of nail polish down. Easy, right? That shouldn't be an issue. Well, apparently for me, it's an issue. Because when I went to get down off the ladder, both of my feet slipped out from underneath me, and I fell backwards into the corner of my desk. So, yeah. Don't wear socks on a stepladder, people. It's just not safe. I caught my in towards my armpit on the corner of the desk and ended up with a huge bruise. Thankfully, mostly all that was hurt was my ego, but yeah, I got a bruise under my arm and probably other places that I can't see. But all in all, I'm just fine and learned a pretty valuable lesson. It could have been much worse. I could have cracked my head on the desk. I mean, I'm thankful that all that came out of it was just a bruise on my arm. And some of you were wondering why I took time away from YouTube yet once again. And I was working on some personal stuff, one of them being getting on a good weight loss regimen and some other things that I had going on. Plus, I spent more time just doing things with the family, which is very, very therapeutic. As far as weight loss, I have lost already a fairly significant amount of weight, but I know that most of that right now is probably a lot of fluid and stuff like that, but hey, I'll take what I can get. I have really, really worked hard to pull a lot of junk out of my diet and replace that junk with fresh veggies or frozen veggies and stuff like that. Making meal replacements instead of rice to have riced cauliflower and, just simple replacements like that for me do not bother me because I like vegetables anyway and appreciate what I'm eating, that it isn't going to taste exactly like whatever, but it is a good replacement. I've been working on finding a sugar substitute to use at times, and I have tried stevia, and I do have to say I am not a big fan. I've tried it in coffee, do not like it. I have tried it in baking, like making a chocolate mug cake. Was not a big fan of that in that. And I did try it in hot tea, and in that, I actually do like it for whatever reason. I don't know what the difference is, but in certain things, it just seems to have a bitter or strange aftertaste. What else have I done? I've started walking more. My son and I play Pokemon Go, and we walk around the neighborhood, catching Pokemon and doing Pokemon things, and it takes some of the monotonous out of the walking routine, which makes it nice. And what else? I really can't think of anything at this point, but I will be back in just a few minutes to chat in your ears some more. My little grandson, Weston, who's a year old, remember we had the conversation that he could not say my grandma name, which for him is Gigi. And my daughter in law realized the other day that, in fact, he is saying Gigi, but it comes out BB. So he does say my grandma name, but it looks like I'm going to be a BB instead of a Gigi. He is a little ball of energy, and when he comes in, he finds all the things, the ball that he left from before, and just little things around the living room that he can find to grab and run away with, and he is super fast these days. Bella, Trevor, and I have taken up coloring like it's a profession lately. We have done tons of pictures that we've printed out from online. If you're on my Instagram, you may have seen a sneak peek of one or two of them. But I am going to include some pictures right now that I've colored over the last week. I have really discovered that I really like my dishwasher for washing cups and glasses. For some reason, the dishwasher can seem to get the glasses and cups cleaner than anybody can get them in this house, whether I'm washing them or someone else. It does a really good job of that, and it saves me a ton of time because we go through so many glasses. It's easier to just load them into the dishwasher and let them go. You'll notice in this video that I do leave some cups and glasses. I washed some of them because they had some stuff really gunked up in them where I had made mug cakes and they needed to be soaked. So once they were soaked, I just washed them. But for the most part, every single cup and glass I have has been getting thrown right straight into my dishwasher. The weather up here in northern Maine had been cooling down, and it was really so nice. But today it was in the lower 80s, and tomorrow it's going to be in the mid 80s. I want my fall back. I cannot stand this heat. I want my windows back. I want the air conditioners put away, and I want beautiful, crisp fall days. We have had to put some home repairs on the back burner because we had some unexpected expenses come up. We're not going to be able to do the door this month, and the counters are going to be put on hold for a while, I think. They are still very usable, and it's not something I'm going to tackle just as of yet. What I do need to do is to silicone around my sink so that I'm not getting water leaking underneath, which is obviously a big problem. So that's going to have to be resolved here very soon. I just got the caulking for that yesterday, so that's something I'm going to need to do probably tomorrow. I am sure that you all noticed in the reflection of my stove, because I know that you guys watch for things, that there is laundry on the floor. It is my kitchen rags that need to be washed. And you will notice that by the end of this video that has not been tackled. This video came out super long. I did not want to speed the whole thing up, so I left out some stuff that I did today. Although I have not yet gotten to the rags that are on the floor, I did clean the living room up really well, and I did some other things that I did film the living room cleaning, and there's a lot of things that didn't get filmed. So what you guys are seeing is just what I filmed today that I felt would give you guys some motivation to tackle your dishes, to clean your counters and your stove, and just simple stuff like that, just to get you started in your day. I try very hard to not have my videos go over 30 minutes because I know that nobody really has time for that in their busy life. So let's talk about some things that I changed in my kitchen that I really do enjoy. Number one, I really enjoy the magnetic knife bar on the wall. It has made a great change in getting that knife block off the counter and not having it in my way. It makes it much easier to grab what I need. The backsplash, well, the contact paper backsplash, I actually really like that. It's much easier to wipe up spills and splatters and stains off that than it was the paint. My only issue is I do keep my plant there because when I pulled up the stuff off the countertop, it actually ripped the backsplash. So I may just order some more of that and put it back, so that it doesn't have the chunk taken out of it. Not that anybody can see it because I kind of keep it out of view. I did have my white knives up by, I think it's called Carrot or something like that. And my son and I both noticed that the handles on those have cracks in them. And the cracks leave like a dark blackish mark on them. And they look terrible. They were staying fairly sharp. They did cut good, but I really don't like the way the cracks and the handles look. I went back to my original black knife set, and I think that I may just give the other knife set away. It's not my favorite. The brown original countertop, I've gone back to that, and I will say that even though I tried some other things, I am fairly pleased just to have that and not have any seams or anything like that. So it's not been a disappointment not to have laid something else down. It was sort of a planned out choice in the end that eventually I will be getting a new countertop, and I will be sure to pick something that long term I will like. I won't go with brown again, but I will probably go with something gray and white. I recently made some homemade wheat pizza dough, and I will tell you that it was easy working with the mixer over there. It seems to add a good flow to the kitchen. We've been making more pizza because, in all honesty, takeout pizza has just become too expensive. And in all honesty, I think pizza from home tastes better, and I am able to alter mine so that it fits into my diet, and I can have pizza if I want to. And I make everybody their own little mini pizza, and we are able to customize them how we want. And I believe it was my last video, someone noticed that my clutter in the kitchen is sort of creeping back in. And that's true, it sort of is. I guess that's the kind of person I am. I have clutter everywhere. um, but yeah, it creeps back in, and then I move things back around, and I find that's just who I am and how I am. And there's days that it doesn't bother me, and other times it does. And now we are going to get this sink scrubbed up and looking good again. It was starting to get really dull and just nasty looking, so it was really time to give it a really good scrub. And when I washed my dishes, I don't know if you guys could see or not, but I filled my green bowl there with soap and hot water and just dipped my sponge into it, washed the dishes, and rinsed them. And a lot of times, if I have a lot of dishes, that's how I will do it if I don't feel like filling up the sink. Going on about changes, that actually reminds me. Remember when I bought all the bar mops and said that I was trying to cut my paper towel use back down again? Well, I have not bought any paper towels since I bought those bar mops. They work beautifully, and I have really been enjoying them. They're easy to clean. They don't pick up hair and things like microfiber cloths do, because that was becoming kind of gross. So I really, really enjoy those, and it has helped me not need to buy paper towels. And yes, I know, I used way too much soap in the sink, and really, I'm perfectly fine with that. I do have a funny little story to tell you guys, though. I filled my Dawn bottle up because simply I like the way the squeeze thing works on it, and I filled it up with, I believe it was some Ajax or something that I had under my counter, and filled the bottle back up, and she thought that I had some type of a new yellow Dawn, when in reality it's just lemon scented Ajax. My neighbor came by the other day and had harvested his garden, and he gave me a ton of green tomatoes. He felt that they were not going to ripen on the vine because we are getting some pretty cold nights. So he picked them all and distributed them to neighbors, and I am forever thankful for that. What I want to do with them is I have them in my window, and I'm hoping for them to turn red soon so that I can make them into some spaghetti sauce and freeze it up and have it for spaghetti nights when we have spaghetti. If you guys have recipes, I am super interested, but here's the thing. I need spaghetti sauce recipes that do not include sugar or meat. And I want to keep the recipe as natural as possible. I don't want to be adding a bunch of store-bought type ingredients like, tomato sauce and stock and stuff like that. I just want it to be a pure tomato sauce for spaghetti. So if you have a recipe like that, or there's some that you make homemade and it doesn't include sugar or meat or anything processed, let me know what it is in the comments below. So as you see, I have some cups soaking. I put some more back into the sink, and I'm just washing off my dish rack because it had gotten something all over it. I used my dish rack almost at times as extra counter space, and I drain my pasta on top of it. I just put the colander right on top and drain it, which is nice because the water doesn't ever backwash back up in, which is totally a possibility. Which grosses me out to even think about it. But yeah. And yes, I know I messed up my clean, shiny sink, but the point is it got cleaned, and that's all that mattered. Now we are going to tackle this countertop, which you can see is a huge mess. Bella made noodles, got the noodle packet on it because she nor I ever used the whole noodle packet, and it spilled on the counter. And if you look at the backsplash, you can see where that little spot is where a chunk of it got ripped off the wall. So we're just going to wipe everything down and clean it up. So it's in this shot right here where you can really see that bruise underneath my arm. And I am so thankful that it ended up under my arm and not in the middle of my back or the back of my head. That would have really not been very pleasant at all. Not that it was pleasant to get a bruise under my arm, But I'm certainly glad it ended up there instead of somewhere else that would have been much worse. So this brings us to yet the end of another video. I want to thank you guys for being here, for watching, and for sticking around. Until the next one, happy cleaning and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.